Hi again, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So there's been obviously the big update from Mullen that they are going to initiate a 25-for-1 reverse stock split. And yeah, there's a lot of people jumping up and down wondering what's going to happen. Now, obviously, no one can predict exactly how this is going to affect the stock price, but it's generally a red flag. And the market reacted so yesterday. Obviously, when the news came out, it fell by about 21% on the day. Now, I've followed on my channel and like personally as well, a few companies that have been through reverse stock splits. And while it's like generally seen as sort of a negative red flag thing, one thing that I think you should be considering with Mullen is that we might actually get a bit of a buying opportunity. Maybe not Thursday, maybe not Friday, but there might actually be a good opportunity to buy the dip. And not that I'm advising people to invest in anything or whatever, but if you are someone who is kind of bullish on Mullen and you have, you've been seeing these day after day after day of good news coming out from the company, there actually is probably a bit of a buying opportunity for you here. So what's likely to happen tomorrow is we've seen the closing stock price at 6 cents or 6.5 cents each. So that means we're going to see an opening price on Thursday at just over the $1.50 mark. I think it's going to be about $1.62 or $1.63 based on the final share price. But that's regardless, because that doesn't really matter. So what's going to probably happen is there will be a very big sell-off in the company's stock early on. So it will start at about $1.64 and it is going to go plummeting. I can't say for sure, but that's generally what's happened in these situations. The reason the stock gets beaten down is because the market loses confidence in it. Mullen, however, is actually an interesting one because the company has actually been on a good trajectory operationally. This is really just being executed to overcome like the dilution that's impacted the stock price. Now, the reason why the reverse stock split's coming is because it's not so much the fact that the stock's been below $1, but because the stock has failed to close at above the 10 cent per share mark, it actually triggers a more serious delisting threat from the NASDAQ. Now, it is more urgent, don't get me wrong, and it can be basically a case where Mullen would have to go before a board and make a case that they should still be listed on the NASDAQ. Now, one stock that I do follow here quite closely is Exceller Technologies, and they had the same such warning back in February earlier this year that they were being delisted. They are going to be voting on a reverse stock split later on this week, actually, but just because Mullen fell below the 10 cent mark for a long period of time does not mean it's about to get delisted straight away. Exceller has still been on the market for about 3 months since they got that delisting warning. So it's not as urgent as some people are making it out seem to be. But it is important that Mullen does get their stock price back above the $1 mark because, with all the good news going on, as long as you've got these delisting warnings going on from the NASDAQ, you're listed on a site, you're put on this list on the NASDAQ website saying that your stock is in breach of listing conditions. And that's obviously a red flag for investors, and it's never going to do well for your stock price. So while there's going to be some pain for the shareholders of Mullen, well, there already is pain, there's going to be further pain for the shareholders of Mullen. This is ultimately going to be a better thing as long as the stock can maintain its price above $1. If it stays above $1, I think it's for about 10 sessions. I'll have to double check the number. You'll probably see that there'll be a bit of like pullback from the more bearish people who follow Mullen, who like to short it. So it's going to be really interesting. You'll probably actually also see a short interest start to climb in the stock very early on tomorrow because a lot of those who like to short stocks will be seeing it as an opportunity to take advantage of what's likely to be a continued sell-off in the morning. While it's never good news to see a reverse stock split, it's probably necessary in this case. If you're a long-term investor in Mullen, obviously it's going to hurt, but you should be able to see beyond what's going to happen tomorrow. If you really believe in what the company's doing and you think it's a good bet, this is just one hurdle the company has to come through before it can go on to that sustained profitability that people want to see from the company. Anyway, this was just like me talking without a script on what's happening with Mullen Automotive. I'm umming and ahhing a bit so you can see how much I rely on my scripts that I write for myself. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this reverse stock split in the comments below. Hopefully it goes all well. Hopefully it's not a huge sell-off, I should say, not that it goes well. But take care, everyone. Cheers.